This is Chris Connelly, and I'm with the band Bad Pop, and you are listening to the brutally... What is it again?
Delicious.
I'll do it again. This is Chris Connelly from the band Bad Pop, and you are listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
So how are you, Chris? How's your day going?
It's going good. Yeah, just kind of working from home, hanging out. Things are still pretty shut down in Canada, so, it's not a lot you can do, but enjoying.
Yeah. Things are starting to open up here in the U.S., and it's there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's starting, like you don't have to wear masks anymore anywhere.
I know. I see on TV. Yeah, we're I think a month or two behind the States still with vaccines. So hopefully a couple months we'll be on the same page.
And my mail feed is filling up with shows and festivals and everything starting in July. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It'll be nice just to see live music of any sort. I'll go see a banjo picker right now for whatever it is. Something.
I miss it. I miss it so much. Yeah, it's insane.
Anyway, so we always ask this for those not familiar with Bad Pop. Can you give us the 2-sentence boardroom pitch?
Bad Pop, good band.
Awesome. That is the best, the shortest, most concise, but the best one yet. Awesome.
Definitely. And I have to say though, this is one of the reasons why I like doing this podcast is just finding new bands to like. And you guys are my favorite in a long, long while. I really love your stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, she was telling me that this morning.
She was what, sorry?
She was telling me about it this morning that she couldn't wait to get you guys on the line because you're the favorite of the day. So.
Oh, great. I love it. Thanks.
No pressure.
Yeah, okay.
So go ahead and take the lead since it's, if you'd like.
Well, yeah, so I know nothing about you other than I've listened to your tunes. So tell me all about you guys.
Well, we're a band. We're from Canada. Most of us live in Vancouver. One of us lives in Toronto. We've been together since we started in 2017. But a lot of us played in other bands with each other before that, especially a band called Hot Panda. A lot of us did that before, and now we're in this band, Bad Pop. And we put out a full-length record. We toured it a bunch in 2017, 2018. Then we kind of took a bit of a hiatus, got a bit burnt out. Then COVID hit, and now we're putting out new music and looking forward to conquering the world again.
Awesome. So unlike Riina, I did my research.
Mm-hmm.
She listened.
She listened to the music.
She listened to it. But so Destructo, the new single's out. What's been the response to it so far? Has it been fairly good?
Yeah, most people seem to like it. Yeah. And then we have another one out called Gray Area that just came out last month. But that's those are two of the newest things that we recorded, a lot of it during lockdown and stuff. So that's the newest stuff that I'm super stoked on because it's fresh and new. But yeah, I'm glad other people like it too.
So I know you said you took a hiatus and you came back during the pandemic. Was there a catalyst, or was it just everybody was sitting around with nothing to do and we decided to play music again?
Yeah, it was kind of I think we were debating whether or not we were going to put out new stuff, and then having everything be shut down and just being at home a lot, it just was you needed to do creative stuff and was missing it so much. So just started working on some old demos that I had, and we figured out how to record over the internet with my buddy in Toronto, Devin, who's also in the band. And so we were doing over the internet recordings. And at the start we didn't think it was going to work, but then we got better at it. And yeah, a lot of those new songs were recorded just in this room and him in his room and just over the internet recording.
So I know I've asked this before, and usually Chris asks the technical stuff, but he's not here today. Was there a latency problem doing that? Because I imagine that's got to be tough, right?
Yes. Yeah, there is a bit of a latency problem. You'd have to kind of try putting down a track, and then we'd re-listen to it all together and go, no, let's do another take. And then so it added a bit of time to it. But, we all have lots of time, right? So
Right. I guess it's nothing but time at this point.
and it was great because especially in the wintertime when it was all cold and rainy here, we were able to just have this creative project to work on.
Right. Well, cool. Did you guys all write together, or is it more the efforts of one particular member of the band?
I tend to write most of the songs, yeah. But this on some of the new ones, Devin, who's in Toronto, he wrote some of them with me. And then the other people in the band, they just played live more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that lyrics and all?
Yes, lyrics and all.
Awesome.
That's me.
That's you. I do remember Hot Panda, by the way. I used to write for a magazine called Pure Grain Audio.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember Pure Grain.
I'm pretty sure I did something with you guys along the way years ago.
Yeah, we put out like four records back in the day in like the mid-aughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Riina?
Yeah. I was just like, doing my research and checking out your bio text in Spotify, which says that you are a band of grown-ups, which pisses you off, understandably so. I am also in a band of grown-ups, and we're angry as hell about it. But what is your worst, like your pet peeve about being an adult?
My pet peeve about being an adult. I think the thing that I find the hardest about being an adult is that you start to look at time a lot differently. Like there's a sense when you're younger that you just have unlimited amounts of it in front of you and you can kind of do whatever you want. And as you get older, you have to start prioritizing and really using your time more effectively. And that's a bit of a bummer sometimes because sometimes it's fun to be loose and free and do whatever you want to do. And as you get older, it gets harder and harder to do that. So that's the thing that annoys me the most about being an adult.
I remember being a kid, sitting on my mom's front stoop and going, man, I can't wait till I'm 21 or I'm 25. And now I'd give anything to go back that way and stop rushing it because it goes, you're 100% right. It goes too fast and there's not enough time. And there's so much shit I wish I would have done.
Yeah. And I started playing in a band in like my mid-20s, like a real band with Hot Panda. And so there was that sense when it first got started where it was like, going on tour all the time. It was just like, yeah, absolutely. Can I get by on it? Kind of, if I like sleep on people's couches on tour and occasionally stay and you don't have a plan. You're just doing that because you have all this time in front of you. And then next thing you know, you're, in your 30s and you're like, holy shit, I can't sleep on a couch anymore. Like this is like, my back is killing me.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, my ears are starting to go, all these things start to catch up with you and all that time that you had in front of you just disappears. And now you're like, and now you're old and a bit sore, a bit grumpy. Yes. Yeah.
Growing up is overrated for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
It is, but there's also like the laws of physics actually like dictate that the older you get, the faster time goes by. You don't have the same time in your hands now, not even like as a full amount compared to how long you have before you die.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Just the time that you have in your hands to organize is different than the time that a 14-year-old has.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it's why it's got to be so tough. I feel really bad for like when I talk to my mom and she talks about COVID and this last year and a half, and it's like missing a year and a half it sucks for us, but if you're in your 70s, missing a year and a half is awful. Like that's, because you don't have that much more time and you don't know how good that time you have left is going to be. Right. So
or the people that are in the same boat, you don't know when you're going to see them or if you're going to see them.
Exactly. Yeah. Like all the stakes just go up on everything. And it definitely made me think about time a lot as I get older.
Awesome. So I know we got real deep here for a second, but so is Bad Pop planning on doing any kind of live streams or is there shows booked somewhere down the road? Or
I think we held out not doing a live stream long enough that now we're just not going to do it because I think shows are actually going to be happening. But yeah, I think the plan is to do some live shows as soon as we're able to do that. Our label and the place that would make the most sense probably to go to first would be the UK. So hopefully next year, I'm hoping we get to go to the UK and do a tour there. So that'd be fun.
We've spoken to a lot of your label mates. We just spoke to Hongza a little bit ago, and
Oh yeah,
he's a treat, and I'm a great
Sam. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
and I'm a great big fan of the Dead Freights. That's one of my favorite bands in the last couple months. I love those guys.
Oh, sweet.
They've been regulars on the show doing a bunch of different things with me. So they seem to do a pretty good job over that label.
Yeah, they're cool to work with. Back when we first started working with them, we were working with Achel Dylan, he was managing us when we were doing a lot more live stuff, and then he ended up going on his label too.
And just for the record, that's Killing Moon Records.
Killing Moon Records.
Yeah, I keep saying that record label, so it's Killing Moon Records. And we deal with Jasmine all the time, and Jasmine is awesome.
Oh, I love Jasmine. Yeah, she's so great. She's so great to deal with.
So, what do you guys have planned in the upcoming future here? I mean,
well, there's like we have a new single coming out called "You'll Be Fine" that comes out on the 25th of May, I think, everywhere, and then all these songs that we've been releasing lately are all building up to putting out an EP that's going to come out, all of it on the 15th of June. And then we've just finished our second EP that's going to be coming out. The dates aren't set on that, but like later in the summer. So we kind of have music coming out consistently from a couple months ago until I'm guessing like September, October. Yeah, and the stuff that we've been releasing lately is like a bit more like garagey, rock and rolly, kind of punky kind of stuff. Yeah. But then the second EP that we have is much more psychedelic and mellow. So they're two EPs that kind of work with each other but sound different.
How is that going to work out live?
That's going to be an interesting thing that we're going to have to figure out. Yeah, I don't know. It's been kind of fascinating working on a lot of this stuff because normally I'm from a school of rehearse really hard, go into a studio, record mostly everything off the floor, a few overdubs after, and that's your record. And with this one, we took our time with it and we did a lot of it just separate and remote. And so you stopped relying on like a time structure to how the record had to work.
Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't in a studio. If I didn't want to play guitar, I wouldn't play guitar. I'd plug a keyboard in and do MIDI stuff with that. And yeah, it was like, which kind of, I think, lent itself to making a more psychedelic EP.
Interesting. Riina?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that psychedelic stuff. Like, there's a very like distinct sounds of what you do and like this little like dash of spooky in there and stuff, and it's nice, it's cool, I like that. And I really just like bands who aren't afraid to just shuffle the board a little bit, like go to the other end and then to the other end and maybe meet in the middle and see what happens and just make a mash of it.
I've always been a fan of bands that don't just sound the same from song to song, and I really think that like I've made a conscious effort to like try to never make the same record twice or never feel like it's in a groove and it just kind of does its thing. So whenever it feels like it's becoming predictable, it's always a good idea, I think, to switch it up. Like I'm not as extreme as this, but like I've always liked Ween, a band like that, for that reason, that they're like an extreme version of that, but like every record is just so different, but yet it all still has a heart and a core to it that is uniquely them.
Exactly. Yeah. There's something about the sound that you can tell that, oh, it's them, but whoa, what is this? Like.
Yeah. Like I think our stuff is always a bit sarcastic, a bit humorous, a bit dark. It doesn't take itself too seriously. That's kind of at the heart of it, but how that sounds can be like really different from track to track and album to album.
Do you worry about when you're writing? I know you say you try not to write the same album twice, but do you worry about fans not following along with your trajectory?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because I'm sure they don't, a lot of them. Yeah. I mean, totally. I totally get that. It's like, especially I think nowadays, because people don't just buy a record and listen to the record. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. They're just going to listen to 30 seconds, if you're lucky, of one of your songs. And then they're going to make an opinion on who you are and what you do based on that limited amount of exposure. So like whenever somebody's like, I like your band or don't like your band, you always wonder like, well, what's the 30 seconds you heard of us that made you
right. Make that decision.
Yeah, exactly. But then you just, I don't know, if thinking about that too much will drive yourself crazy. You just ultimately have to do something that you're proud of and makes sense in your own mind so that you're okay with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I also think it's interesting that, and you're not the only band doing it, a lot of bands are doing it, the new model of the one single or one song every month, every 6 weeks or whatever, instead of putting, I'm old school, I'm a little older than all you guys. So I'm used to getting, the whole record that was sequenced in a certain way. There was a whole art to it. Now it's one song, and then you actually put together an EP or a record at the end of it all.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm from the same mentality. Like I have a record collection. I collect records. So I love the whole album. But it just became a matter of you spend all this time and effort and money making a record, and then you would put it out and you would do like the PR thing, and it would make a splash, and then a month later it would be like gone. And this is, I think, just a way to stretch things out longer so that you can keep people's attention, because it's so fucking hard to keep anyone's attention, nowadays. So you almost need to constantly have content that's out, and I'd rather have new songs coming out all the time than doing stupid shit on TikTok or something.
No.
Like,
I 100% get it, and it's funny.
Yeah.
We've talked to people that are totally into TikTok all day today, but I get 100% what you're saying.
You talk to Sam. I know Sam's into TikTok. I know.
Yeah,
I know. Oh God, he's always like, you got to do TikTok, and you're like, I can't do it. I can't get into it. I have a 1 in, 1 out policy with social media. It's like, gotta lose one if you're gonna bring on another one.
We were just talking about that earlier. There's too many of them. I can't keep up with it. With a full-time job doing this and doing a million other things. I can't do, and every day there's another social media I gotta be worried about being relevant on. I can't.
I know, and it changes so fast. It's like you put in all this effort to build up a following, and then kids don't look at it anymore, and you're like, oh shit, I guess I gotta learn how to use another thing and try to build up followers on that.
And I don't know who's wanting to see a 15-second video of an old fat metal dude doing anything that nobody gives a shit. So TikTok is probably out for me.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm not. I find it tough to do that.
Anyway, Riina, you got anything else?
No, I'm just like weirded out by the TikTok talk
all day today.
What's your take on TikTok? Do you like TikTok?
No, absolutely not. Like, it's so weird. I'm so old. I thought I would be the cool mom who was like, on so what was the like? I'm hip. I'm cool. I'm so not.
Yeah.
Because even the user interface of TikTok looks so weird to me. I tried to use Snapchat for a little while. And I was like, why? Why, people? Why?
Yeah. Good thing you got out of that, because that one, I think nobody uses Snapchat anymore.
Oh, that's not a thing?
I don't think so. I never get pressured to ever do anything on Snapchat. So
my kids are gone and out of the house, so I don't even know what the newest ones are anymore. I just heard a lot about TikTok today for some reason.
Because you talked to Sam.
But Sam wasn't the only one. We had we've done, I think you're number 5, but everybody's been doing TikTok.
Yeah, and I think
this is now the third time today that we're talking about TikTok, and I've been doing this show for like a year, and it's the first time this ever comes up with any of the bands. Maybe it's because like you're not metal guys. Maybe like all the metal people are such fucking relics that it's not even in their universe.
And I think that like, because I do get pressured a lot to have to do, especially from like industry-y kind of people that you have to work with, and I feel like. If it's something that you genuinely enjoy and want to do it, it's going to read well and people are going to respond to it. But if it's forced and it doesn't feel natural for you to do that kind of stuff, it's probably going to come across as forced and not very natural. So that's why I tend to stay away from doing that kind of stuff, because it would feel fake, and I think people could read that. And a big thing about bad pop or lots of things that I try to do is you want it to try to feel as genuine to you as possible. Like it's like it's your point of view, it's your voice coming across. And you want to cut out that anything that gets in the way of that. And I feel like TikTok would definitely, I don't know how to use that in an authentic way.
No, me neither.
I don't. Yeah.
Anyway, before we go, is there anything we missed you want to cover?
That I want to cover.
Want to ask anything you've always wanted to ask, Riina?
Where are you in Finland right now?
I'm in Finland. Yeah.
Are you in Helsinki? Okay, nice. All right. Okay, cool. Do you like saunas? Do you have?
I love
sauna?
them. I have. Go like 3 to 5 days a week, I guess.
Oh God, I love that. I love that about the culture. I wish people were more into saunas here. We're also
saunas.
cold and dark. We're cold and dark in Canada. We don't.
You have a sauna saunas at your house?
Yeah, at my flat. I don't have a house, but I have a flat. Yeah.
Shit, I love saunas.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Man.
Yeah. And like, you're right, Chris, like, there's a lot of similarities between Finland and Canada. And I've said this before when we were talking to someone else from Canada. Like, as a little girl, I was absolutely fixated by Canada. I had read somewhere that it's the happiest, best country in the entire world. And my little girl brain just wrapped around that. And it still sort of represents some sort of, paradise for me. Like in my dreams, I sometimes live in Canada still I'm almost 40 now and it hasn't gone away.
Well,
but if
you ever want to come over, we have a lot of space in the country. It's almost all empty space. So there's tons of room.
Our partner, Chris,
same way.
Our partner, Chris, is from Vancouver as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he couldn't join us today, but yeah, he's from Vancouver and he always says that there's people on both coasts and the middle is dead empty.
Yeah, when you first start touring, it's from Canada, you get the worst of how touring can ever possibly be. So anywhere you go after, it seems fantastic. I remember going to the States, you're like, oh my God, there's so many cities and they're just everywhere. And then you go to like Europe and it's even crazier. Like you tour England and it's, people are amazed that you would drive over 2 hours in between shows. And here you just, you have to, every show has to be 2 hours plus.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Also, I still have to see, is that like the picture of Canadian hospitality? Like, okay, so if you want to come over, it's not like I'll buy you a beer or like I'll take you to dinner. It's like we have a lot of empty space.
Yeah, I'll find you an apartment. Nice. Chris, I appreciate you taking the time, my friend. Good luck with everything. Stay safe.
Great. You guys too. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Yeah, have a good one.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Bye.
Bye.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.